Hello everyone, hope you all are doing fine. This is Gautam from Shailaja IS, and in this video we'll discuss on the recent LPG crisis that India is witnessing in the aftermath of your Iran and Israel war. Right? As you all know, on February 28th, 2026, your USA and Israel launched a combined attack on Iran, which killed the topmost leadership in Iran, including your supreme authority. And subsequent to that, Iran has also said that it is also going to retaliate against US and Israel's action. And eventually, what it has done is that it has brought the Strait of Hormuz, a passageway which is connecting your Persian Gulf and Indian Ocean region, which is adjoining your Iran, under its total control. And this is an important maritime route for the global energy supply. 20% of your global oil passes through this particular choke point. And as a result, Iran has taken control of the trade routes and has restricted the passage of this important energy source. Now, as you all know, as I keep telling in repeatedly in videos, that energy or oil and gas are considered as like the blood for your economy. If your blood stops flowing, all your organs will stop functioning. Same, likewise, if the gas or oil supply is being restricted or restrained to India, especially with a country like India, which is dependent on oil imports. It is having its own domestic oil reserves also, but the domestic production is unable to meet its overall demand. So close to 80% is being imported from other countries. And if Iran and the Middle East is one of the important suppliers of this energy source, and if the trade point is being choked, if the trade point is being blocked, obviously your supply is going to be reduced. And it is going to have a multifarious impact on other sectors of an economy. We also see the panic that has been amongst the society, whereby people are collecting the gas cylinders and keeping as a safe storage. We also see your union government ministries coming out and giving press releases that there is no need to panic. And there is adequate supply of all this essential oil and gas, right? Whereby there is rationing of all these fuels, whereby they're saying that residential units will be prioritized over commercial and industrial units. So the serious, so the shortages or the crisis is real. It's not something which is relegated only to your newspapers or your media studios. We are witnessing in our day-to-day lives. Because just yesterday when I went to buy biryani for myself, earlier it was costing around 130 rupees. Now I see that in a span of just 2-3 days, they have increased to 150 rupees. I asked them, why have you suddenly increased? Just out of curiosity, I just wanted to know. Although I know that it's because of the LPG crisis. He said simply, sir, because cylinders are now becoming very expensive. We are paying almost double of what we used to pay earlier, and we don't have any other option but to increase the prices of our products. Right? So in this video, we'll try and understand what are the structural vulnerabilities that India is facing. Right? Second thing, we'll try and understand if there is a shortage of natural gas, how it is going to impact other sectors in an economy, right? And finally, we'll try and see what measures India can take to at least minimize the shocks in the future days whenever there is a similar kind of crisis, right? I think I've made a full video on the Iran crisis itself, like what exactly happened, why it happened, what are the reasons given by US, how has Iran retaliated? What are the impact on India? What are the impact on the world? I made a full-fledged video and I have uploaded it on my YouTube channel for free. So please access it to know the entire background story of it to revise it. Now, coming to this gas crisis and the structural vulnerabilities of the shortages of the natural gas itself, we need to understand that India imports roughly 50% of its natural gas and 60% of its liquefied petroleum gas, which is used for your domestic cooking purposes. And 20% of the world's total global oil and total your LNG passes through your Strait of Hormuz. Right? Strait of Hormuz is this particular strait. This is your Persian Gulf, this is your Iran, this is your Indian Ocean region. I think the image is on a much more darker side. I don't know if you're able to clearly see this. But I think if you open any map, you'll be able to easily figure it out. Right? That is one of the structural vulnerabilities. Second structural vulnerability is the ability to build a strategic reserve itself. For oil or petroleum, we can easily build strategic reserves. We, in fact, have around 50 days of strategic oil reserves in the refineries itself. 25 days of output, 25 days of crude oil. Along with that, there are 4 strategic petroleum reserves which are underground caves where your crude oil is just stored so that it spans for nearly, ideally, India is trying to build strategic petroleum reserves for a period of 90 days. A similar kind of reserves for natural gas is difficult to build because it requires extremely cool temperatures to store this gas. And to build this is enormously expensive. For a petroleum strategic reserve, it is fairly easy because all you need to do is, it's in a liquid form, you just need to dump it. For gas, you need to put it under pressure. You need to cool it. You need to have a cooling system which is much more cost prohibitive in nature. That is one of the structural vulnerabilities. That's why it is difficult to store LNG for a longer periods of time. Like we cannot have buffers of 100 days, 120 days because it requires huge infrastructure, huge cooling infrastructure. Right? It's on an expensive side. Second thing, or the third structural vulnerability that India is facing is the domestic gas production is at a lower level below its potential. For multiple pricing issues or policy issues, our domestic production is not able to boost to its maximum level. Primarily because we don't easily allow foreign players with regard to production of natural gas, which we have found in your Krishna Godavari Basin. Right? So it is not, the production itself is at a much more lower level. Right? So the exploration part of it and the production part of it is not to its maximum extent, right? And the fourth structural vulnerability that India has with regard to your natural gas is the absence of transnational pipeline. When it comes to your electricity, we are having a national grid. Electricity which can be produced in Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka can buy it through the transmission grid and through spot exchanges. A similar kind of a transnational pipeline network is not there, right? So that also causes one of the structural vulnerabilities and increases the cost of transportation, especially during crisis time periods, right? So what is going to be the impact of this shortage of gas supply? Because the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, your supply is blocked, and already we are having so much of vulnerability, structural vulnerabilities with regard to gas infrastructure in India. So what is going to be the impact? First and foremost impact is going to be on your agricultural sector. Why? Because 80% of your domestic urea production relies on your natural gas. And your natural gas, 50% of it is dependent on your imports. So if import is stopped, natural gas is stopped, urea production is stopped. If urea production is stopped, your agricultural activity is going to be impacted. Your food security is going to be impacted. You see the network aspect of it. Next, your logistics cost is going to inflate. Obviously, because there are crores of vehicles which are running on your liquid natural gas, LNG, right? You can see autos running on compressed natural gas, CNGs. Okay, they are called as CNGs, compressed natural gas. You will see, you can say taxis which are running on compressed natural gas. So all of this, eventually they are going to increase their prices, and that is going to spill over into the normal goods and services, which is going to see an inflation. Supply is low, cost is going to increase. If the cost of your transport is increasing, your cost of goods and services is also increasing. That is how your shortage of your energy source is feeding into the general prices of goods and services and leading to inflation. Your MSMEs might face shutdowns. Okay, your MSMEs who are dependent on natural gas, who are dependent on subsidized, you can say fuel supply, are going to face operational shutdowns. Right. More importantly, at a more consumer level, your ecosystem of eateries is going to be paralyzed. Already, we are witnessing it in our own general layout, Bangalore, whereby I think a couple of eateries are closed, saying that we are not getting access to LPG cylinders. And the remaining eateries have increased their prices. As I already told you in the beginning, my experience with own biryani. Right? What is going to happen? And some of my students have actually gone back to their hometowns, saying that, sir, we are not able to get a regular supply of good food. The cost has also increased, so let me go back. So you see the ripple effects. Migration is also happening. Okay. Cost push, food inflation is going to be triggered. Right? So because your eateries are low, they are going to charge high. So that is eventually going to push the inflation. When inflation rises, demand is going to fall. Because you see, earlier if you are eating 2 times biryani in a week, you will see that, I am spending too much, let me eat 1 time in a week. So your demand is going to come down, your overall economic activity is going to come down. So you see the ripple effects of one crisis or shortage in gas supply, how it is impacting the larger economy and multiple sectors, from agriculture to MSMEs to your food sector. Also, people are now going to fall back on polluting fuels. Now they are going and searching for firewood and getting access to those firewoods, which are in fact more polluting in nature. Right? Black marketing and hoarding is happening. People are using their influences to collect LPG cylinders and black market it at higher prices. 1,500 rupees cylinder is available in black market at 5,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees. Right? So what can be the way forward? See, immediate step which India needs to take is to have a diplomatic effort with Iran and ask for a waiver that you please allow India-bound ships to pass across this passage, which in fact has already happened. By March end 2026, I am giving you the latest update because I see in today's newspaper that India has got waiver from Iran to allow India-bound ships. India is not the only country, my friends. Waiver has been given to China, waiver has been given to Russia, waiver has been given to Pakistan, waiver has been given to Iraq. Okay, so what Iran is trying to do, Iran is trying to lobby all these countries in its favor so as to pressurize USA and Israel. Right? That is the immediate measure which is taken, and the government has come out with a statement saying that next 1 month's gas supply is now secured because I got a waiver from Iran. Right? Second, at a much more medium and short-term measures, what the government has to do is to diversify your procurement sources. You need not have to depend largely on your Strait of Hormuz passageway. You need to procure gas from other sources as well. Right? Maybe Latin America, maybe Russia. Right? Next, you increase your nationwide biogas production. Please do that because biogas is being generated from your wet waste. And you all know the scale at which this waste is being generated in urban areas. On a daily basis, hundreds of tons of wet waste is being generated. Why don't you convert that into biogas and manure? Why don't you put your circular economy principles into action? The biogas can be easily used for your cooking purposes. In fact, policies are now being made by your urban local bodies whereby they are pushing your large-scale apartments to set up biogas plant within its premises. Okay, so such kind of you can say policy push needs to be taken at a pan-India level basis. Right? Next, You accelerate your domestic deep water exploration so that you find reserves where it is economically viable to extract this gas, right? And also try to complete your national pipeline grid. Okay, so whatever the infrastructure shortages that we are having or deficits that we are having with regard to infrastructure, you try to put more and more money into it, upgrade it, which in fact the government is doing. The union government, if you look at its expenditure over the last 10 years, we see its increased focus on building infrastructure, be it your electricity infrastructure, be it your road infrastructure, be it your railway infrastructure, be it your airport infrastructure. It is taking immense, you can say, focus on building its infrastructure because it knows that it leads to a long-term benefit for the nation. Likewise, we have to build pipeline infrastructure, right? So that is all about this issue. I hope you got a fair bit of an idea on what this gas crisis is. It is not something which is academic in nature. It is touching us on our everyday lives. As I told you, our favorite biryanis are becoming more costlier, right? So, so try and keep updated with this event itself. There is economy involved. There is international relations involved. There is governance, policy making involved, right? Let us look into one of the questions. India's heavy reliance on imported natural gas and volatile maritime choke points poses a severe threat to its macroeconomic stability. True. Analyze the structural vulnerabilities in India's energy supply chain and its impact on key sectors during the crisis. Okay, so what all we discussed, you just have to put it in points, put it in a structured framework, give an introduction, give a conclusion. Try your best, okay, and feel free to send those answers to me for feedback on evaluation, right? This is my number and this is my email ID. You can WhatsApp me, Telegram me, or you can email me. That's it. All the very best. Thank you.